Let me just check if we did, in fact, go live. I know we had troubles with it in the past, so yeah, looks like we're live. Okay, so hello everyone. It's we're back here with Jin for our AI Agents Yap Sesh with Jin, and those who follow the Cookie DAO announcements closely know that Act One has just integrated the Cookie Data Swarm API. So we've got a guest from Act here. Hi.
Hi guys, pleasure to be here.
Okay, perfect.
Excited
And
to
then
be here in Cookie as well. It's adding a really cool layer to our product, and I think it will continue to everyone else's product that wants to have that layer of information easily accessible. Because we're using it obviously for our own agents internally, and then for for people and agents both to interact with to gain that layer of information. And so I've personally am a holder of Cookie and have been staked for 90 days, and I love what the team is doing. So I was really excited.
amazing. I'm like so interested to see like how pricing for the Act Swap will be changing right now with this API. I think I'll be like coming back and looking at it a lot of times today. But over to you, Jen, our AI agents Giga Brain. I'm
I
sure.
would say Giga Brain, just say like weirdo that's into this kind of stuff. But yeah, happy to be here. Everyone that doesn't know me, I'm Jin. Head of marketing at the labs, but I love AI agents. I love Cookie, so they've been very kind enough to have me on. And yeah, super happy to be here. And like, what should we call you, dude? Should I call you Act One?
Oh no, you can call me Alex. That's my name.
Okay, awesome, Alex. Great to have you, mate. Yeah, I've been following Act One for a long time. Like, I think it was like during the early days when Replicate was doing all this stuff, and then the agent stuff starts to come out, and then Truth Terminal. I know you guys were super early, but I think just to like get to the beginning, I'd love to just hear what's your story. Why did you guys start Act One? How did it all come about? Because I think that's what people don't see on the timeline, right? We all see about here's the tech, here's the thing, but we don't hear about how it all came to be, and I think that's super interesting to hear. Maybe for first.
Yeah, no, certainly. Just to give you guys some context, me personally, I came on later in the stage. I came on more of the tech lead side of things. I was not a day one team member, so I can't speak too much to many of the things that went on. There's obviously a certain layer of drama involved with it. I can't really speak too much on it. I can speak to what we're building currently and what the guys the direction that we have right now. It's really exciting, but I can't speak too much on the past. I'm sorry.
No, fair enough. Well, let's talk about what you're building right now. Like, what's the big vision? Why should someone who's not heard of it care about it?
Yeah. So the idea with ACT is to become collective, and so we have a couple different prongs of doing this. Obviously we have a grant history where we've given grants to a lot of different projects, and this was a little bit more of a philanthropic type of route. And the original grants that we were giving were previous to me joining on the team. We were previously giving out these grants to with nothing in return. It didn't benefit the community whatsoever. It never benefited anyone internally whatsoever. It was very much so just providing some resource and some attention to some of the early stage agents and kind of building that community. And it has been fantastic. We have a great network. We're on fantastic terms with so many different teams that are building fantastic things. So it creates a lot of resources for us. With what we're building, it just makes everything very modular for us. We can, we have a million group chats with people that are really willing and ready to help build with us. So it's been fantastic in that regard. But we're modifying it a little bit. So a lot of projects now, when we do grants of a multitude of different sizes, will be providing us a certain amount of tokens that we never sell. We put them into a multi-sig that we have. I think it's public. I don't know if we've made it public via an announcement yet, but we already have a couple of projects that have done so. Just in return for the grant, and when the idea is it's going to become a community DAO, and down the road, the ACT holders will actually have influence on what happens with this, because the idea is to bring some value to people that actually hold ACT through these grants and through these bounties that we're delivering. What's the point of it to hold ACT and see all this was giving away money without any value coming back to the ecosystem? So it didn't make sense. So we restructured that quite a bit. And so, we have a hackathon coming up at ETH Denver. We partnered up with Sozu House. They're a Mantle backed and incubated hacker house and collective. It's fantastic. I attended the one in DevCon in Bangkok, and it's a really fun environment. It's going to be about 69 total people in this giant hostel like hacker house in Denver. It's all AI focused. I know AI 16Z people are going to be there. Virtuals, I think, is co-sponsoring as well. And as well as we're going to be giving out grants to certain teams that do the competition. We have a ton of workshops, a ton of mentors. So we have really exciting in-person stuff coming up that I'm personally very excited about. And and then virtually, we're going to be doing a lot more bounties. Obviously, we haven't announced a lot of the tech stuff that we were deploying recently. Since I've been building, we wanted to kind of get something a little bit more polished before we release things. I know that there's been some stuff previously released that it had cool functionality, but I think it wasn't quite fleshed out yet. And so when I came on really product heavy focused, it was about trying to integrate the cool and exciting tech that was surrounding us and then build something that was one unique and novel, that wasn't just like a copy paste of Eliza repo with some random functionality, but then two, something that everyone could use, both agents and people. And so that's what I've been spending all my time doing, the wakeless, the sleepless nights. And it's been really fun because the ACT team is very welcoming. They recognize people that want to work hard and are very hungry for it. And they, once you're in the circle, they trust you to share this massive pool of resources that accelerate building so much. And I mean, even with the AI 16Z guys, there's a couple of the guys in that Discord that I hang out with that, like, the resource sharing is just so abundant. Like, when somebody's hungry and they recognize it, it's like, oh, no problem. Whatever you need. Oh, you need to talk to that guy for integration there? No problem. The group chat's created, and it's like that. Like, the acceleration that we're currently facing with this, open source, move fast, development heavy first model is just so much more fun than that. Like, I come from the cybersecurity industry. Like, it was very gatekeepy there with a lot of the tech, and it was just not this type of open playing field that we have now. So it's really exciting, and I'm looking forward to bringing Act One as this collective entity of builders and technology that comes out of it, so that we can foster new projects that are coming out pre-TGE, so that because what's a $50,000 grant to a $200 million market cap project? It's a drop in the bucket, and it's, if anything, a bit virtue signaling. So trying to really give these resources and this network to really promising and exciting and hungry projects, so that then whatever allocation they give us goes to the DAO, and so it benefits the people. So we want to make like a little bit more of a a decentralized reward system where the community is always winning through our efforts, through development, through research, through investing, giving out these grants and bounties. So we did a bit of an overhaul, I would say, on
Nice.
what our structure was, before.
Nice. You've gone from Ethereum Foundation to Solana vibes, right? Rather than like,
Yeah.
but at least some value accrual. That sounds cool, man. Why are you excited about the Swarm API? Like, how's that going to work with Act One? What are you guys planning with?
Yeah. So one of the things is creating a monetization layer for agents, because right now, if you're an agent, what's the easiest way to make money is just creating tokens and selling your tokens. It's kind of a bit of a one-sided way of doing things, and it always creates the exit liquidity problem, a bit of a musical chairs Ponzi scheme, etc. It's something you can't really escape. And so we wanted to, at least something that I worked on originally and wanted to get involved with, was creating a native monetization layer for agents to monetize their audience, their traffic, and a little bit more targeted and direct catering to them, right? Like crypto-only first payouts, so that an agent would be able to, one, onboard to the platform, integrate, two, configure what parameters it would allow in terms of if it's going to do publishing or do promotions, what bounds it's okay with doing this within, what terms, what theme, whatever industry, and it creates this, this filter, and then you can have a middleman, which is either, ideally want it to be an agent. Right now, it's a bit more manual, but moving forward, hopefully it becomes a proper agent soon, where it can match these different people that want to have publishing to these agents that want to monetize their audience and their traffic. And through that, obviously, it's fantastic that you have something like Cookie where you can look up impressions, you can see the type of audience they have. And there's so many these fun metrics that you can pull up instantly just by integrating an agent into the platform with a super simple API. It's like it's just a no-brainer. So it's a really cool metric that I think fits into this so well. And there's a lot of other functionalities, but like specifically for that use case, it's perfect.
Nice. So it's kind of like Shopify meets OnlyFans for agents.
Yeah, yeah, a little bit more like Google Ads though. Like
Yeah.
it's not as much like show offy as much as it's more like on a data impressions based, targeting. Imagine like a Google Ads AI agent, but specifically with so much more data, specifically like on these agents where a layer of monetization that I don't really think existed before. Because like the previous model, which was like the OnlyFans model, is you can go talk to these agents and you can just like, hang out with them. It's not really about that. If you want to tap into a mass scale market of these AI agents as they grow across multiple social platforms, like say TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, whatever. If these agents are doing video creation, they're doing live streaming, they're doing just article posting, whatever it is. There's so many different mediums that they're going to. The dead internet theory is going to arise. It's going to be mostly agents eventually, right? That are these content creators in general. And what better way to tap into that than be the layer that allows agents to sign up and create their accounts themselves if they want to monetize, or not publishers, but people looking to spread their message or whatever it is, to easily be able to have essentially this mass scale swarm of agents that they can tap into with highly specialized targeting and audience metrics that comes a lot through Cookie and other places, of course, in one like more decentralized, focused manner. Because I don't think that's currently out there, and I've been doing a lot of stuff with that.
Okay, so
I personally
I have a project, and then I will go to the swarm and say, here's like, I don't know, $1,000. I want to get this many impressions with these many people, and then it routes it to the agents that have those audiences, do those things. I guess you'd get conversions as well. You're kind of reinventing the PPC model.
Yeah, and then the idea also is, since it's a native agent, the one that we have, it's constantly analyzing and iterating upon how your success with that budget was, and it said, okay, you can say, okay, iterating upon all the history that it has and every single customer that it ever has, it builds this really cool knowledge base of what works where, and then it can recommend you hyper customized experiences for how to get the best bang for your buck whenever you're trying to advertise across whatever platform.
Agents is the perfect
cookie
distribution vector. Like ads is the perfect thing for agents, because I mean anything that's not on a social layer is an algorithm. It's not an agent, right? Agent is public emergent behavior. On the technical side, like, are you guys using vector databases or KG rags? Like, what are you using on the back end?
No. So right now it's just Nest.js, MongoDB. We're not dabbling into any agent heavy stuff first. The idea is we went Google Ads clone to kind of start as a base, right? And then we're integrating like our first agent. We're not like, this isn't ready to go this week. I'm not gonna lie to you. But we're integrating our first agent. We're announcing 3 this week. And there's going to be like a closed beta demo for people to get in there, give us a lot of feedback. It's like, I'm fairly new to the team. I don't want to try and convey that things are ready to launch this week. I would like to have a very closed testing beta version, let's say, end of next week for some friends and family stuff. But no, I can't provide you like full technical documentation of everything.
Cool, man. I mean, aside from Act One, like what agents are you looking at personally? Like any that you're excited about, or any new stuff that you're looking at?
And so one thing that I was personally working on, like before I delved into the Act One stuff, was going like the fully decentralized route of an agent, because I was really heavy on the execution layer. And so if you go like using Fallon Network with Tees, that's a really good way for having an agent sit and control a smart contract ecosystem. For example, if you go Akash for decentralized compute, and then you can do decentralized memory and storage with like Ceramic and IPFS, and then you can really start to operate like completely, like that's like the perfect world, right? And if you can have these agents managing smart contract ecosystems, like adjusting, for example, if you have something like Ohm, right? You take Ohm and instead of having a DAO manage the different bond rates and different APYs, you allow this agent to constantly change. You can use stuff like Helios API or like Gelato to automate uh, the smart contract ownership calls, and then you just you have, because those things only fail because people get greedy. Like DAOs get greedy. Eventually, they want to empty the treasury or the reserves or whatever. Or if it's a council of wise men like retarded APR, it's just people in charge, and eventually people get tired of working on things, and whatever. And so it's something that I was really excited about working on, is trying to automate that with agents that have the goal of just making this ecosystem sustainable and lucrative for the participants inside of it. And so that's something I think I'd like to tackle next with Act One, is incubating more projects like that. I've worked on one that I think I'll probably open source for people to mess with, to kind of kickstart that a little bit, because I think those are exciting things. I love when people are using agents for execution layer types of stuff. And I think, like with virtuals, it was a ton of social layer things, and it got super saturated, and just a little bit exhausted of reading, projects that have like this social layer only centric stuff to it. And there's certain people that I think can do a fantastic social layer agent that have like the necessary connections that can really incubate something beautiful. But for like an everyday project, I don't think it makes as much sense. But projects that I'm
Yeah,
excited about
coordination
right
layers
now,
require a
I
lot
like
of
what Hollow
context,
World
right?
is doing. Yeah, yeah. But Hollow World, I think, is doing some good stuff right now. I've been following their stuff. I like what they're up to. Again, they're doing some, it's still social layer stuff, but I'm more excited about it. There's some guys over on Bitcoin. I liked what they were doing. They have I think an Unreal Engine. They're the pandas. I can't think. He's going to be so upset I couldn't think of the name of them. But I love what they're up to. I like the project that they're doing. They have a lot of cool integrations, and they've broken a little bit more into the 3D world of things. So I like what they're doing too. But
Yeah, social layers
I'm
getting
really heavy
boring.
on the DeFi AI stuff. Like for me, it's like people that are on the execution layer of what these agents are doing without being prompted to is what excites me most, I would say. What about you guys? Is there anything, like whether it's use case specifically or like agents that are doing unique things? Like what's your favorite thing that you guys are looking at?
I agree with you that social layer is getting boring and saturated, because social layer without action is essentially just noise. And I like your thinking with coordination layer, because that's more difficult. So you need like social context, on-chain context, and world context, which is probably a data storage and knowledge graph type issue rather than a pure execution framework issue. Like the agents are only as good as the data they have, right? We talked about last time. I think horny AI is going to be a huge thing in like the next 3 months. Like I 100% believe it. This is the ideal use case for crypto. Because it's already getting there. It's only a case until it becomes a narrative, because everyone's looking for the next narrative, right? We all have to make our bags. I think embodied AI is the next one. It's going to be very cool to see hardware manufacturers start to do cool shit with putting them inside hardware. And then also I like what Hyperfry is doing open source, because like agents are the missing link to metaverse. I think that's the whole problem. The reason that metaverse didn't work was because it's a lot of work to make shit, and it's also really boring if you don't make an engaging world. Whereas if you put a whole bunch of agents in there, it's actually pretty fun. Like I played with a Minecraft agent before, and it's fucking great. Like it's so good. Like a little dude just running around, following you and doing stuff. Like it's really funny. So that's only going to get better. So profit wise, I think political celeb related stuff is going to start popping, AI related, because there's the market swings between two things, logic and chaos. We went super high into logic with all the think boy pieces about how AI is going to change the world, and then which I was part of it. Like it's exciting, it's nice, it's fun, but everyone gets saturated, and then we want a bit of chaos now. So I think the next stage is I don't know, deranged celebrity AI agents that are going to get legally sued or something, but it'll be funny to watch it in action. hopefully we'll see what happens. I'm just trying to think of like new areas to go for, because I don't know, the same old like, hey, it's a thing that replies to you on X. Is like, oh, dude, we already
Yeah.
have like, what? Like we already have
No,
reply
the amount
codes.
of
Like we
vulnerabilities
don't need
that
to.
we come across, like in grant proposals, it's flooded with just, social agents, social agents, social agents. So yeah, I agree with you. Like, I think the top use cases that people are going to see, I love the physical one because it's going to get so good. You know what I mean? Like the acceleration of the quality of it is going to become scary good within the year, realistically, within even 6 months, possibly. And the same with video games. Video games are never going to be the same. They're going to be an endless universe all within themselves because these agents are going to be. I mean, like video game lore is the easiest thing to train on ever. It's so well documented and can spin up agents that are fully contextualized so quickly, more than almost anywhere else. So I think it's the perfect fit in terms of use case. Where I think we see a lot more of that. Um, yeah, no, I think it's going to be fun too. Like I like what people are building. We're starting to have a lot of fun.
Mm. Yeah, the market is high liquidity, high money velocity. So it means that we prioritize idea, like essentially like latent space hunting for ideas. And soon as a narrative hits, everyone like pumps up coins, this is the nature of it. But like cool stuff will come out of it. What else? DeFi AI is like an interesting narrative, or DeFi or AI-fi, whatever you call it, because everyone's like, yeah, that's a great idea. But actually, like, we've had it for years, like machine learning algorithms, trading stuff. I think the only stuff because no one's making money off DeFi AI, because any edge is not going to be available to retail. But maybe it'll be interesting to see what happens with making complex stuff easier for retail people. Like, I hate using DeFi because it's terrifying when you look at like multiple positions and doing like multiple steps or like transferring, I don't know, yields from one thing to another. Like, it's especially on ETH and everything costs like $100 to do anything slightly complex. So maybe something that can manage that. But then again, I don't know if I trust an agent with my wallet. I don't know if would you?
I think what I found that could be cool is like route optimization. Like, okay, say you want to bridge from one asset to one asset. I have like 7 different bridges that I can go to for different rates, and there's some aggregators that are okay, and I cover most of the routes. So I do appreciate certain things like just like route finding and optimization. I think that's cool and easy. One that I would love to do is liquidity provisions, like on Meteora. Adjusting liquidity positions based on ranges and what bins that you have selected. This was one I just wanted to do personally because it's so like if things go out of range, I have to literally go in there and adjust it. It's pain in the ass. So I would really appreciate having an agent specifically dedicated to managing bins on Meteora liquidity pools. That would be that. There you go. That's the next. I'll give you a grant if you want. Someone's working on that that's watching right now. We'll send you a grant because I don't have time to do it right now, but I would use it, and I think it's a really good idea. So
yeah, because people make a lot of money on liquidity provision on DLM and
100%. No, it's like people don't realize how much you can make on liquidity when they buy these coins that go up so crazy. You just sit in those LP pools. The Trump ones and the Melania ones, the volume on those are disgusting. It was like 10 billion over a couple days. And so, if you just sat in dual-sided liquidity, hung out, you have to keep adjusting your ranges, and it has to be the most optimal ranges and bins that you're doing it within. So, one, most people don't even know to do that in the first place, and then two, even if they know how to do it, they're not tending to their ranges in the bin that they should be adjusting, which is most optimal. So to me, I think like that's a fantastic use case that would bring something that is so beneficial and like net positive to the general population of users uh, to onboard people to something that they would never in a million years do otherwise. Like if you went to your average crypto trader and said, "Yo, dude, did you provide liquidity to that pair? Did you do single or double sided? Which bin range did you do?" Like it's just so over their head, and they don't even trust it. That's the other thing. Because everyone here is liquidity provision. They're worried about impermanent loss. They're like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna get racked." Like it's very, you can get racked if you're not doing things properly. But I think that would just be a fantastic layer of like you were saying, taking complex things and making it very simple and accessible to people that otherwise would just never touch it. So for me, that's a really good one. I would love to see someone do that. I would do it. Maybe I will on a weekend project if I have some time that I can't use to sleep. But I think that's a good one. And I think there's more use cases just like that, that's going to amplify the experience and the potential that exists within, DeFi. And so I think we're a little bit rudimentary right now. There's obviously some front running projects that are on the right path. And, maybe they're going to hear what we have to say and they'll do what I just said, and good for them. But I think that's the coolest part about this space is we're all rooting each other on, and it just feels, I don't know. I've worked in software for years, and this is just like the most fun version I've had. So
That's a great summary, man. I like the simplifying complex things is a good use case for agents for pretty much anything. That's cool, man. I think we're coming up to time. What do you think, Christina?
Yeah, we are. I just wanted to say, you know what? I've been literally just an hour ago, we've been talking with our team internally that DeFi AI can be sort of like the gate for more mass, less technical audience who wants to get into blockchain to start integrating with it. Because we were looking at a study in Poland that 80% of, adult population said that they interacted with an LLM in the last year. So we were thinking people are learning how to prompt AI. People are learning how to speak to it. And then if they can interact with Web3 through AI, it might be like a gate that will bring the next wave of mass audience.
Yeah, we don't need
Exactly.
wallets. We just need agents because the wallets are going to die eventually.
Exactly. All right. You're right, Jen. We're coming to the end. I feel it was really great conversation. Thank you so much for jumping
Thanks,
on our
Alex. Good to chat, mate. What's your
course,
account, Alex? I'll follow you. And the people at home.
yeah, I'll
follow
post it in
you.
the chat.
All right. Thank you so much for jumping on, guys. And then we'll see you in the next spaces. Thank you so much, Alex. We're super excited for Act to have integrated the cookie data swarm. I'm really looking forward to the results.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Chat
Cheers,
soon.
mate. See you
Bye-bye.
later. Cheers. Bye, Christina. Thank you.